It's September the 24th, 2024. Guys, these are current images as of 6 p.m. Central Time. This afternoon over the Gulf, you can see the Yucatan Peninsula right there and Cuba here. Now, here's the center of circulations. As it moves out from under the clouds, look at that. And it looks like it's going to shoot right through the gap. So nothing will impede the center of circulation until it comes ashore into Florida. Check that out. Now, let me say this as we continue to watch it, just a different filter. You can see the circulation very clearly in that eye opening, and now it's wrapping with storm clouds. And look at the spin on it. It's already a tropical storm. More than likely, it would be a Cat 1 in the morning. But let me just say this as a heads up to some folks. There's a couple of YouTubers that cover hurricanes and tornadoes like that. It's kind of mostly what they do. And this summer, I've noticed a lot of extra hype. I'm just saying this because I care about these type of reports. This is where you stay and die, or you pay attention to what's happening and you get out of town till the storm's over. It's that serious. And I'm not going to mention any names, but one in particular, I think Mr. Weather Guy or whatever it is, that's not the name of the channel, I promise you. But he covers this every day, and it's a super hyped situation. Like every day we're going to have 3 or 4 hurricanes, one in the Gulf, just continuous. And we've seen storms, we've covered them. And then this afternoon, about an hour ago, they said there's no longer a threat of a major hurricane, and it popped up over in my notifications. I'm thinking, what are you talking about? You know, we're still seeing with the current computer printouts, the newest available, we got a Cat 3 with Cat 4 gusts striking Florida. Anyway, I just wanted to say that you've got to be careful sometimes. It just doesn't make sense to hype it all through the season, and then when you really get a serious one in here, you start downplaying it. Really doesn't make sense, and you're going to cause people to make poor decisions, and you're going to cost them their life. Just heads up, guys. Let's take a look at some of the other information. Look at this infrared. What you're seeing in the bar coming in from the right is it switching to night vision, basically, there in the Caribbean. But very clearly, in the beginning of it, you can see the circulation here. And now look how powerful these storms are wrapping around that. As some of them will be stripped, not the center. Some of the outlaying clouds will they will be affected by both the Yucatan and western Cuba, is what I'm saying. But when that center is not involved in it, it's going to strengthen right back up. Again, let's take a look at the National Hurricane Center, the latest computer printouts that I use and everybody else uses when they're doing their tracking maps. Now, this is the latest update. This is 5 p.m. Eastern, so it's a couple of hours old. Still a Cat 3 right here, and just before it comes ashore on all the printouts, Cat 3 with Cat 4 gust. Again, I'm not going to say anything else about it, but be careful who you're watching, because now it's obvious that some are just doing for clickbait, and then they give you the wrong information just hours before you get into trouble with a storm like this. Be very careful. Let's look at the computer printout. Now, these are 2 of the last printouts from the National Hurricane Center, and you can see the longitude and latitude, and that's how you make these tracking maps. But this is the last one before it comes ashore. 100-knot winds, Cat 3, 120-knot gusts. That's very strong Cat 4. 100 knots is a Cat 3 sustained winds. 120 is strong Category 4 gust. And so they combine for not only the wind and wave action, but man, they can do so much damage to the electrical grid, water grid, streets, housing at that point. So I don't care who says this, and if whoever you're watching, if they're downplaying the storm right now, you know who you're dealing with. That's all I can say. Again, 100 knot, 120 knots, and again, Cat 3, Cat 4 gust. And as it comes ashore here, it's still 60 knots, 75 knot gust, and this is pretty far inland. So once it comes ashore in that Big Bend area, and it does appear to be drifting slightly left, with the corner or the left side is going to reach you guys in Panama City. I just saw some of that information, but nothing has changed. Don't know where they're getting that information either. And this is about an hour old, September 24th today. The red is hurricane warnings. Now, see how it's creeped? It did end right here on the southern point. Now it's creeped into Panama City. Then your hurricane watches extend further out. Let's pull it down again. Pink is a hurricane watch. Yellow is tropical storm watch. Hurricane warning. Red, blue is tropical storm warning. And then you've got tropical storm force winds out very far around that storm as it is now. And you can see it starting to make the turn we were seeing in the satellites. So even on the East Coast, guys, tropical storm watches. Lake Okeechobee, tropical storm watches. This is going to be a very powerful storm. Do not listen to anyone about it being about downplaying this thing. I don't know why they're doing it. Again, it's kind of frustrating me. I guess you can tell when you spend all these years warning people and someone that's supposedly doing it downplays it at the last moment, saying it's going to be okay. No, it's not going to be okay. Now let's look at Fox Sky Tower down in Tampa. Category 3, this is not at the strongest point. The strongest point is it's coming ashore right here, and it's going to remain more than likely Category 2 as it crosses the Georgia border. It's 5 p.m., winds 50 miles per hour, tropical storm, Helene. Now it's picked up a little bit of speed. It was at 7 miles per hour. Now it's moving west-northwest at 12 miles per hour. Now this update is 12 minutes old. It came out at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Still nothing from the Navy, guys. Nothing on the models. Don't know what happened. Maybe that ship sank. But you've got the Canadian model right here, kind of in the furthest left section of where they're thinking the storm will track. And then it spreads all the way down from there to the Tampa area. All of this is going to change. Tomorrow is the 25th, and it's going to be starting to come through the pass, and by through the day on the 26th, it's going to be coming ashore somewhere right in this area. Let's first look at the Canadian model. There it comes very close to the Yucatan and then slams into Florida. Now the timing on this, again, we talked about it before. This is the second storm, by the way, coming in behind it, also shooting the gap. It stops right there, just as a heads up. Here's the first one. Right there, we're in the 25th, okay? That's tomorrow. It's already shooting the gap. We'll go forward, and just to show you how fast it's going to pick up forward speed, watch how long it stays into the 26th. So that whole time, about 500 miles, of Gulf water, still in the 26th. Still the 26th, Thursday. 26th. Edges of it are coming ashore. Notice the center is now splitting this point of the Big Bend area. Half of the hurricanes coming over into Panama City, Pensacola. Still, the northeast quadrant will be the strongest. Again, we're on the 26th. 27th, it's starting to touch the shore. So after it shoots the gap tomorrow, in one day, it travels this much. Moving very fast and very powerful. We'll play it forward. Right up, catching still that high pressure loop and spinning some moisture out into this area. Second storm coming in on October 4th. Now looking at the GFS model, it's still tracking over into the Big Bend area, a little more to the right. That's the last two storms approaching on October 10th. Here's the storm we're watching right there. Again, it's more to the east or more to the right of the Big Bend area. And then look what we're dealing with. We're in the peak month of hurricane season. Another one there headed up there in a very large storm. But again, GFS model is accurate within the first few days, and because how long the model plays out, they will change. Now the Euro model, check this out. Shooting the gap, we'll just step it forward. This thing moves very quickly. One of those maps. Euro map comes up here. You can't even really tell where it comes ashore because they don't move in hours. They move in days on this particular model. But we'll just play it through. Watch very closely where it comes ashore. Again, it looks like in the Big Bend area, the perfect bowl to catch all the high winds, high waves, storm surge, tide, all of that at one time. But again, guys, I would be evacuating that area now. 3 with a strong 4 gust. That could change to a Cat 4 with Cat 5 gust very quickly. Notice how long it doesn't take it very long to move across the Gulf, but that entire time it's very warm waters. We're watching it, guys. You watch it. Watch for an early report tomorrow morning because it's going to really start getting down to the serious timing and the path. We're going to be on top of it. We're watching it. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.